I've been working with language models for over a year now, and I'm very excited about 2025 because my research is going to focus on language models with open weights. Like everyone else, I'm very excited about DeepSeek and what that means for the future of AI and, in my case, AI research. So what I'd like to do in this video is just share how I set large language models up to run on my machines using a package called Ollama. And I also want to just give a demonstration of how you can interact with Ollama and large language models through Python. For reference, I'm using my Dell XPS 15. That's got a tiny little GPU, an RTX 3050 mobile. So I won't attempt to do anything crazy here. I'm just going to install the smallest version of DeepSeek and have a go with that. So the package we're going to use to run our models is Ollama. Head over to ollama.com and click on download. That'll give you different options depending on your operating system. Obviously, you're all using Linux. If you are, perhaps you could like the video and subscribe. There's a curl command here. We can click on that, and that's going to download a bash script. All you need to do is paste that into your terminal, and it will download in a few minutes. Once that's downloaded, it's really easy to install a model. Head over to ollama.com. Click on models, and there's a model library there for you to select from. So you can see DeepSeek R1 is available at the top, but if we scroll down, there's many cool models available, including Mistral, Llama 3, and so on. We'll install DeepSeek. If you click on that, you can see there's multiple size models available. Again, I'm on my XPS 15, so I can actually run the 7 billion and 8 billion models, but it really canes the machine. So I'm going to go for the 1.5 billion parameter model. So choose the model you want, and the command is then available. If you copy that, head over to your terminal and paste that in. So that's going to call the Ollama program that we've just installed, the run command, and you pass in the name of the model. If that's installed, it will run the model. Otherwise, it will download it. And you'll see that it's the models are containerized. That'll take a few minutes to download. Once that's downloaded, you'll enter a prompt where you can interact with DeepSeek on the command line. For fun, let's give DeepSeek a Python programming problem. Really simple one that I use with students. Given 5 positive integers in a list, find the minimum and maximum values that can be calculated by summing exactly 4 of the 5 integers. Print the respective minimum and maximum values. So we're going to use one-shot prompt engineering. So I've provided some example input and some example output. So let's see how it copes. So you can see the first thing that DeepSeek does is it has this advanced reasoning capability, and you'll see that on the command line enclosed with the think brackets. So here's our answer. We've got DeepSeek's chain of thought here about how it calculates that solution and a Python function. Let's copy that and see if it runs. I've got the example data set up here. Let's paste in DeepSeek's solution. I can see straight away that this is not how I would solve it, and I suspect this is a fairly inefficient solution to the problem. However, let's pass in our data and see if it returns the correct answer. It does, which is good news. However, I wouldn't trust this at face value. I'd probably want to scrutinize that code in a bit more detail to understand how exactly it's calculating the values and if that's sensible or not. While it's fun to be able to interact with DeepSeek R1 through the command line, for research, we really need to be able to control our interactions with these language models through code. That also means we can store and manage the responses from these models for analysis later on. Luckily, there's a package available for Python for Ollama that can be pip installed from PyPy with this repository, which I'll link in the description below. I've also included a Conda environment that contains the pip install for you, so you could just activate this environment and everything will be ready to go. So we'll import Ollama and Ollama chat. The first thing I'll do is just take a look at what models are installed on my local machine. So there's a function here called installed models. That's just going to iterate through a collection of models stored internally in Ollama. So here's the 1.5 billion model that we just installed, but just for example, I also installed DeepSeek 7 billion parameter version as well. So we can either wait for the entire response to be generated by the model, or we could stream the response as we did with the command line to the screen at the same time. So I'm going to stream that just to show that it can be interactive if you wish. So I created a function called getStream. I'm going to pass in the name of the model that I would like to interact with. I'm going to pass in a prompt. That's going to call the chat function that we've imported, tell Ollama what model we would like to use. It's going to create a message. It's a prompt. So the role of the message is a user message, and the content will be the prompt that we have passed in. In order to stream this result back, I'm going to set stream equal to true, and then I'll return that Ollama stream object. We'll use exactly the same prompt that we did before with our one-shot prompt engineering for the Python coding problem. Let's have a go with the 1.5 billion parameter model so we don't blow up my machine. Okay, and now I'm going to iterate through chunks of that stream. So as responses or lines are returned and generated by the language model, I'll print those to the screen. So you can see within each chunk there's a message attribute, and that has content associated with it. I'm also going to open a file called response_1.txt, and I'm going to write that result to file. So I've got a record of what the response was if I want to analyze that at a later date. So there we go. It's generated our answer for us, and we can store and analyze that. So I just want to say at the end, if you're using these smaller language models, my experience is that they hallucinate far more than these very large closed models that you can access through OpenAI and Perplexity.ai services. So do be careful. They're very useful for research and they're fantastic that they're open, but they also have limited capabilities compared to these larger models. See you next time.